Before we have our communion service this morning, we want to give you a chance to respond, questions. Okay, any questions now? This is hot. Is that better? Or is that better? In any case, you can hear me. And we have a microphone if you have a question. Are we good, Jeff? I think we're good. Yeah. Who has a question? You'll have to turn that down a little bit, I think. That's some of this. We have a question right here.
I'm not exactly sure how to answer it, but I was just thinking last evening about Abraham's debate with God about Sodom and Gomorrah. And
That kind of applies to you.
I just was curious, we have a remnant. We don't know how large it is. We think it's pretty large. But do you have anything to speak towards that?
Yeah. Especially, we'll speak about that in Daniel a little bit more, because when we get to Daniel, we're going to look at Daniel 9, where he realizes that the 70 years is over, and it's time to go back home. And the prayer that he prays, to some degree, addresses that. But I want to talk about the remnant, and I want to talk about the intercessory prayer of what Abraham prayed. Abraham apparently thought that, and he winds up with just a very few people, and God says he won't destroy the land if he finds that few people. Looking at it, it looks as if Abraham was thinking of Lot and his family. We know Lot had sons-in-law. We know he had daughters. It then happens that the sons-in-law they laughed at Lot when he said God's going to destroy this place. So Abraham's prayer in the end wound up, shall we say, saving nobody, if you will, except that it did save Lot, but it didn't save Lot in the midst of the fire, the brimstone, if you will. It certainly saved him out of it. We don't know what God's doing with his remnant. I read one blog this week that says, hey, don't worry about it. The church survives and thrives in times of persecution. Really? All the time? Not all the time. Take Turkey, for example. Country of Turkey. Anybody know where all 7 churches in Revelation used to be? They're all in Turkey. All of them. Now Turkey, I've seen some crazy numbers in Turkey, mountain Christians in Turkey. 200 or 300 in the whole place. It's the old Asia Minor. It's like, and I want to say this way. God does have a remnant. He will preserve his remnant. Sometimes he will not preserve them from the fire. Sometimes he preserves them through the fire and through the valley of the shadow of death. We just don't know what he's going to do. We know what our responsibility is to speak his word. We don't know what he's going to do about that. He might save the whole nation. He might destroy the whole nation. He has. Who else has a question?
This is more a comment than a question, but it's important to note that what we do as we proclaim God's word is that we're seeking to transform our nation, not to restore. We're seeking to move it to a more godly position and transform it into something that God would have. Not restore it to what we think we're losing. And there's a big difference.
To speak to that just very briefly. Take your families. Do you not want your family to be transformed? Do you want to go back to what it was when there were no children, they were really small? Is that what you want? Or do you want your family to be transformed as those children come and as they grow? Do you want a transformation of their lives? It's the same thing here. We want to move more and more to godliness, personally, in our families, in our churches, and yes, in every nation. Have you ever wondered what it looks like when Isaiah says Ethiopia shall reach out her hands to God? You ever wonder about that? What's it look like? Is Ethiopia going to grow arms? What's that look like? Isaiah is looking forward to the time when Ethiopia will be a Christian nation, as did the early missionaries. Look forward to the time, for example, in Carrie's case, look forward to the time when India, of all places, would be a Christian nation. William Carey believed that. I would say this. We will be discouraged beyond measure if we don't believe that same thing. Our God will fill the earth with his knowledge in time and in history. It will happen. Our job is to be faithful to that God who is going to get it done. And yes, when I die, wherever that'll be, and if the United States of America is worse off than what it was, that's not the question for me. The question for me is, was I faithful to Christ and his word? That's the real question I must ask. And if I've been faithful, then those around me will be better off, at least locally. Jeremiah and Isaiah and nearly every prophet in the Old Testament failed. And how much better are we for their testimony? How much better?